Hi, Professor. I am doing my presentation here on Old Orchard Park because I went to my brother's school. He goes to La Mesa Junior High School, and it was just a bad situation to get off and record because I was being guided and I wasn't allowed to really get off the car. They have like this roundabout where you go and they guide you and then they want you off the school campus. So I didn't have the liberty to go and see where they did PE. And then I tried in elementary school, McGrath Elementary School, and they also, it's blocked, and then I need access to the school to actually get into the P area and even like the blacktop. So I was able to go to Old Orchard Park in Santa Clarita, California, and although the park wasn't open to use the playground and other amenities were blocked off, I was able to still firsthand walk around the park while still following the rule of social distancing. So I decided to do Old Orchard Park in Santa Clarita, California. Right, so then I'm going to go ahead and do the presentation on full screen mode. And here's my homepage. As I mentioned, this is located in Santa Clarita, California. As I was walking around the general park perimeter, I noticed that one of the aspects that I thought was unsafe was that there was no official gate to block the park off. As you can see here, this is like the only, I guess you can say, gate to the park, but then it's kind of dangerous because, as you can see here, the playground is to the left, and well, both playgrounds, there's two play areas. And then if the child goes over here and jumps over this, which as you can see here has openings for more people to walk in through here, they land on this main street that crosses the park. So I thought it was dangerous because although adult supervision is always needed, with this park, children can't physically just be let free. They can't do their physical activity as free as in other areas because it's dangerous just because it's next to the main street. And I was thinking if there was ever to be an accident here, God forbid, but um, they might be able to like get on the grass, which is dangerous for the children and for any other individual that's around there. And there was various exits I observed. So it was dangerous because a parent can't just be like focus on one or two exits, but there's multiple. I would like to say there's probably more than five exits, and there's a lot going on around there, so it's not the best um, precautions wise around its perimeter. And then I walked over to the first play area where I observed that it was very simple, which I liked because I believe it will get children to communicate more, to collaborate with others, since there's not really a ton that they can do besides play with each other. But one of the things that I noticed was the sand flooring, where you can see there's plants growing here, and then there's a tree overlooking the this play area, which drops like it's like fruits with nuts and leaves. And you know, most children want to take their shoes off. So I feel like it was dangerous because um, stuff from the plant and from the leaves and from the fruit with nuts can get in their feet. So it's not the best. If it was a super just sandy area, I think it would be fine, but they probably should cut those plants off or maybe do something around there so that children won't be stepping on that. And then also, if you can see this, um, it's like a monkey bar, like a swing. It's missing the piece that goes here, where children transfer from this side to this side. So I observed that, and there was also only two swings. So that's something to notice about. As I made my way to the second play area, I noticed that there was these little stairs where children walk up, and then the holes within the little stairs can be a hazard for little baby toes that can get stuck there, which would not be fun for our little learners. And then I also learned that there is like this ramp that doesn't have like stepping stones. So if a child is distracted while doing his physical activity or um, at play at the moment, that might be a danger hazard because that is kind of a big height to jump off of, and especially when you're not aware that it might happen. I also believe that the areas can be more sanitized. Like, for example, this isn't visible. It isn't visible through. It's like opaque, I guess, maybe because of the water and probably the age of it. So more sanitation is advised. All right. And then for the water fountain, this was one of the areas that really impacted me. There was only one water fountain for the entire park. And then what I noticed was that it only had one height. So children and adults had to use the same height, which, although it says it's accessible, it's not the best, I would say. I've seen where there's like two different heights, and then there's various ones in other parks. Because I also observed that this water fountain was near the main street. So the area that I was talking about, where there's like that little hill, that's where the children have to head to get to the water fountain. And then, as you can see too, I don't know if it's like mold or it's just peeling off, but it doesn't look very sanitary. I really wouldn't want to drink from there unless I really had to, so I wouldn't want others to do it. So that was an observation. And now that I mentioned the accessibility, I noticed in the play areas that there wasn't really a ramp where a child with perhaps a wheelchair could go down to the play areas. And then there was really not much that that child can do besides possibly get helped to get onto these areas, which I thought wasn't very friendly. As I made my way around the basketball court, I noticed that it had vibrant colors, it was well maintained. Um, Although the hoop is not adjustable, so it kind of limits it to older children or adults. And if it was adjustable, perhaps younger children can enjoy the basketball field more. And then the basketball court is overall closed to the walkways and play area, which could be a bit dangerous if the ball were to fly to where the people were sitting, because there's seating area here, or where the children are at. But I did enjoy the vibrant colors and the clear painted lines. As I went to the baseball and grass field, I noticed that the baseball field was pretty well gated. The grass was actually pretty good. It was pretty even, as well as there was various seating areas. You can see, I took pictures of this angle, which is one, and then I believe there's another one over here, and there was two walking over to this area. So there is plenty of seating area as well where the players can sit. There is a lot of grass around there, um, around its perimeter overall. And I mean, look how vibrant the grass is. It's beautiful. So I observed that, but as we will get into in the next slide, there's an elementary school diagonally behind the baseball field, which is hazardous for me because if someone throws a softball or baseball towards that area, it can definitely reach students in the school or school staff, which will not be good. And then, as I mentioned, right now there was school. There was a school next to the area called Orchard Elementary, and it was gated off. Well, because it's closed and it's next to the park. But I noticed that um, there was a dodgeball, or yeah, dodgeball field right here, or handball. I forgot what handball. A handball wall. So I noticed the gate was pretty close to the handball court, which could be dangerous for the children since they're probably very excited to be playing and get easily distracted and they can end up hitting their heads over here or their arms when they're swinging. I was able to observe the grass. It had some uneven surfaces, but it was overall pretty even. I observed that there was more swings here. The play area was with more vibrant colors and more areas where the children can be more physically active. And I wanted to mention these since we were supposed to do it at a school and I didn't have the opportunity to, but since I was able to see these areas of the school that were right next to the park, I decided to talk about it. And then, well, thank you so much for watching, Professor, and I will see you online. Thank you.